These are the instructions for Unit 4, Assignment 4.19, the final draft of the research paper. So these 6 basic guidelines, make sure that the paper is 1,500 to 2,400 words. Make sure your first and last name are on the first page of your paper. Make sure all the texts is double spaced, and don't forget to indent your paragraphs. And if you can, remember, do not use contractions. Contractions are words combined together and shortened with an apostrophe. Isn't, it's, couldn't. Words like that are considered contractions. Don't use them in your research paper. And you are also going to have a works cited page. If you don't already have a topic in mind, here is a link to topics that cover American history. Okay, so use that link. It's useful, it's helpful. And because this is a video, you might not have access to the live link, but you can go to the instructions where I will leave the slides, and you can access the link in the PowerPoint slides there. So when you are reviewing your checklist and the guidelines for the research paper to make sure you're doing it correctly, look at the purpose of the research paper, which is to inform your reader. Make sure that's evident. The essay has an introduction with a thesis statement. Make sure you have a thesis statement. Make sure your body paragraphs contain facts and quotations from your research, the other sources that you found. Make sure that your research paper ends with a conclusion, and you don't have to say in conclusion, okay? The paper, it should be organized and in a clear pattern and includes transitions between paragraphs or transitions between new ideas within paragraphs. The research paper should include internal citations. If you have quotes, if you paraphrased, or if you have in any way summarized, you will indeed need to cite your source internally in parentheses, right? The language of the research paper should be formal and include specific vocabulary and literary techniques or devices that help convey complex ideas. And the language of the research paper should be formal. So again, that is why you don't want to have contractions. You want to refrain from using slang or the kinds of language you use around your friends. You want to make sure that the tone of the paper is serious and the voice is objective. So you don't want to call something stupid or any other derogatory language. You want to remain objective, meaning that you are presenting only the facts. And again, making sure that your paper has 1,500 to 2,400 words. Okay. The guidelines in terms of format, again, 1,500 to 2,400 words. Try to save your document as a Word document or in rich text format. Make sure you use 12-point font and use Times New Roman and double space. There is a link for a sample paper if you want to see what a good example of a paper is. All right. And again, you could find the live link on the slides, which are posted in the actual assignment. Okay. For your citations, the body paragraphs should contain facts and quotations from research. That means that you are going to cite those sources that you get your information from. So the research paper should include internal citations. Again, those citations come after the quotations, your summaries, or your paraphrases. And then the list of works cited is going to have the detailed list of your sources, again, that you extracted the quotes and summaries from. And hopefully you'll have at least three sources, none of which will be Wikipedia, okay? And one of the three sources needs to be a book. If you have questions about that, definitely reach out to your instructor. When developing your paper, the purpose of the research paper, again, should be evident. So why you're writing it, um, why the information is relevant, that is important to be able to articulate in your paper. And the essay has an introduction with a thesis statement. So your thesis statement, again, is a main idea. One sentence that states what your paper is about, your perspective, not necessarily your opinion. You don't have to say, I believe, the American Revolution was the, worst event ever. You don't have to say that, but you can definitely state it in a factual way, but not too narrowly, the perspective your paper is going to take. Okay. You want to definitely end your paper with a conclusion without saying in conclusion. Okay. There's so many other transitions that you can use that will let your readers know that you have reached the end. You want to make sure that your paper is organized in a clear pattern. Make sure those paragraphs are distinguishable. You want to definitely organize your paragraphs and your body according to the supporting ideas, how you're supporting your main idea. Again, use transitions. You want to make sure that the language of the research paper is formal and includes domain-specific vocabulary, or again, vocabulary specific to your subject matter. And use literary techniques or devices that will help convey complex ideas, literary techniques. Um, you can use analogies, okay, comparisons, right? You can use imagery, description, okay? So those kinds of literary devices are what you will want to make use of in your paper to help your reader to better understand your point. As we get to the proofreading part, here are some steps to proofreading. You want to read out loud your paper to yourself or to someone else. You want to keep a checklist, again, of the guidelines and the things that you need to take care of in your paper. You want to check the titles and headings. You want to cross-check your citations, and you want to update the file name. Again, that file that you're going to upload, right? So read what you wrote slowly out loud, or have someone read it to you, but pay attention. Okay, listen to it for errors or ways that you can improve. Keep that checklist of errors you tend to make. So if you know you have a challenge with spelling words correctly, then you want to, definitely double check that list of words. Checking titles and headings. You want to look for typos, cross-check the title everywhere it appears, make sure your headings make sense and have a logical structure. You want to cross-check your citations, make sure each in-text citation matches a works cited or references citation, and vice versa. Check spelling of names, okay? That is what you want to do in your proofreading process.